Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with round number 7 of the Go-Karting Championship in 2015. Once again, we've got 3 camera views. Tom is top left. Top right is my dad. I don't know why the camera's slightly fogged up, but it does get fixed for race 1 and 2. And then I'm in the bottom centre. But yeah, today we've got a new competitor, my cousin Tom. He's turned old enough to actually be able to come go-karting now because they have an age limit. So yeah, this is his first time go-karting around here. And yeah, you can see he's at the front of the field at the moment. He's the short person, shortest person here with the dark blue helmet. Then you got Tom obviously with the green overalls and the black and white helmet. Me with the blue overalls, blue helmet. My dad with blue overalls and the white helmet. So you can understand who's who. Hopefully it won't get too confusing. Obviously, just you understand whose camera view you're seeing it from, and also Tom L. We're going to call him Tom L. So yeah, Tom L, my cousin, currently leading the way in qualifying, which I suppose is quite good for him. But Tom is trying to get around the, try and get past and try and get the faster lap. But obviously, it's Tom L's first time going around here, so he's going to be careful, isn't he, on the first couple of times around the lap at least. And you can see I've dropped back a bit. My dad's dropped back a bit. We were just trying to get good qualifying times here. It's the whole reason why we dropped back, and I think Tom might be doing the same thing as well to give himself a bit of a gap to Tom L, who's obviously in the front of the pack at the moment. Now, I know it's going to get confusing throughout this video saying Tom L and Tom. Obviously Tom is who's been doing the championship for the last 1.5 years, and Tom L is my cousin who's recently started. I'm sure it'll get confusing, but hopefully you'll understand me. So yeah, this is I think about a 30-minute video in the end. Obviously 5-minute qualifying, 2 10-minute races. And yeah, it should be interesting to see how Tom can fare in his Tom L should fare in his first race, and yeah, it should be interesting to see. We'll see what happens, obviously. And my dad tried to get past me there, but I've got back past him, which is good. And now we're sort of back right up behind Tom L again, who's quite slow, and there Tom nearly hit him, so it's good that he backed out there and I capitalised on it. And my dad trying to capitalise on it as well. He's trying to look down the inside of Tom. He's done it, and is he going to get past me as well? What a move that was! That was a great double overtake there by my dad to go past 2 of us there. But now he's got the same problem that we've had to get past Tom L, who's very, very fast in a straight line here. Up to the top braking zone. Am I going to get back past my dad? Yes, I am. I need to get past Tom L as well, but luckily. Luckily there was no contact, 'cause that was quite close there, as well as my dad braking late as well and trying to get past as well. But at the end of the day, we're all in the same position that we started that whole position, so we sort of just ended up where we were at the start. So yeah, I don't know what the word I was looking for there, but that whole event ended how it started. I think that's how I was trying to say there. But anyway, top hairpin once again. My dad got quite a good run in that final corner and down the inside once again. Oh, that was a bit risky, that one. Maybe not as, I don't know, it was a little bit more of a lunge down the inside, but I got it stopped. I went to the apex as well, so maybe it just looked worse because my dad was taking a wide line in and then sort of cutting back to the racing line. Maybe it looked a bit worse there. My dad this time is a bit more forceful. He goes down the inside once again, and we're going to run side by side. I've just enough speed to get in front of him once again, and then through this fast right-hander here, I think he's backed off a bit here. He's backed off a little bit. You can see, yeah, he's backed off a lot here. And I think Tom's wondering what's happening here. Had he got a problem, or what? I think Tom was a bit confused there. That's why he just sort of nearly ran into the back of him at that point. And I saw that everyone was backing off, so I think I got that into my mind. I need to do that in the next lap as well to give me a bit of space as well, because whilst I'm stuck up behind Tom L, it's going to be tough to get past. I mean, I was looking down the inside here, am I going to get past? And then Tom L is just so fast in a straight line. It's like James. It's just so fast in a straight line because they're just so light. It's frustrating. But yeah, good. I suppose it's good for him, because obviously in the first time you're going karting, you need a bit of an advantage somehow. And he had that advantage, obviously, for being so fast in a straight line, which helped him out defend at least. So I've dropped to the back of the field now to give myself a bit of gap. I think Tom's done as well the same thing. So my dad, he's given himself a bit of a gap so he can get a good lap time in. And yeah, we're nearing the last minute or so of qualifying here, so this is like when you need to get your good lap times in. My dad's caught up to the back of Tom L once again, so he's got to either try and get past him or back off again. That's the whole problem here, because Tom L's actually in a really good position. He had a really good start, obviously, off the line, so that means that he's got the advantage, and everyone else is having to back off to sort of play around it, because obviously it's Tom L's first time going go-karting here, so you just expect it. My dad, is he going to go for a move around the outside? He couldn't quite get that done. Wasn't quite brave enough. But yeah, so first time go-karting, go-karting around here, you know he's going to obviously not be as fast as us, especially me. I've been going here like 7 years now, so obviously you'd expect me to be faster than Tom L, who's just started. So yeah, it's good to see him having good pace actually, and you're seeing the qualifying times at the end wasn't maybe as slow as we'd expected. Actually, I don't think I've got the exact times. I've got the positions. Let's just say that. I'll let you know obviously at the end of this qualifying bit here, but I think this is it. I think this is going round the final corner to finish up qualifying. I think I could be wrong. I think I had 2 fast laps on the end here. I'm going to the start finish line. We're going to just about beat Tom. I think I am. Just across the start finish line, and a bit of a slide to celebrate that overtake at the end there. So yeah, an interesting qualifying there, and let's see the qualifying time, or not the time, sorry, let's see the qualifying positions at the end of qualifying. So you might be surprised, but Tom L didn't qualify last place, which is actually really good to see. He qualified third after I was first, my dad was second, and Tom L was third, and Tom, that's the regular Tom, somehow qualifies in last place. A bit strange, but we'll see anyway. The lights are out and away we go once again. Tom L doesn't get a great initial start, but look at this, he literally squeezes just enough space to get past us both there. I think we were all so surprised about that. You can see Tom shaking his head. He was like, how did he do that? But a really good start there from Tom L. Got himself from third place on the grid into the lead. There's a tyre in the middle of the track there. Not sure how that got there. I don't think it was there in qualifying. You can see I was trying to capitalise straight away and try to get past Tom L there, but he couldn't. We didn't leave enough of a gap there, so I couldn't get that overtake done. Our dad gets a good move there, and now I'm trying to get past him. Look one way than the next, and I'm slowed up a bit there, so that means Tom is going to be right up behind me here, down this back straight away. And Tom, is he going to look to the? Well, he's looking to the outside here, and I'm. Oh, Tom L spun it. My dad has gone wide to avoid him, and I've gone from third to first place in one corner. If you guys have followed me on Instagram, you probably would have seen that video. I did put it up a couple of weeks ago, so yeah, maybe if you did see that on Instagram, that was. I think it's kind of weird how that all played out right, didn't it, after not having a great last turn, and I ended up getting back into the lead. But at this point I was like, my dad has got a very fast car here. You can see he's right up behind me. I was looking one way and the next, like, where is he? And then I was like, oh, he's right alongside me there. Did not realise that whatsoever. Top hairpin, braking late, couldn't quite get the cut back. Can I? Going side by side. Oh, there's a bit, tiny bit of contact there, but I get back through. My dad left the space down the inside, and I was looking to the outside. Oh, my dad's car's got a problem here. Not sure what that is by the look of it. It looks like he's just pulled off to stop there, which is very strange there. And he's getting out of the go-kart there, and the marshal's showing there that something's fallen off the go-kart. So pointing over there to go and get a new go-kart. So I think, I could be wrong, I think it's something with the transmission that went wrong there, which a bolt fell out or something, and that meant that when you just pressed in the throttle, it was just revving. Something to do with the transmission, I think. I could be wrong. I think it was something to do with the transmission there. And you can see my dad not exactly sprinting it over back to the karts like I did last year. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was like round 6 or 7 or 8. I was obviously really struggling in my go-kart, and then something went wrong. One of my wheels like collapsed. I think like a bolt came out, and the wheel like came loose, and that obviously came off the go-kart. And then I sprinted it back to the pit lane to try and get into a go-kart, but then they pulled me in again because there's something wrong with that go-kart as well. So yeah, it's not like the go-karts are like got that many problems, guys. It's just from time to time you obviously do come across go-karts which obviously maybe haven't something they haven't noticed when they've serviced them or whatever. So yeah, it is incredibly safe, this place Filtering, man. I would recommend it to anyone that wants to go go-karting in the southeast of England. It's pretty much one of the only places you'll find in the southeast of England that does go-karting outside, and it's definitely worth it. The karts aren't the fastest, but they're a lot of fun, especially if you have a big group of people. I mean, have 6+ people and you'll have a really fun race. So yeah, I recommend it to anyone. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but yeah, I do recommend it because it is a lot of fun. So yeah, now we've got a bit of a challenge to try and keep Tom behind us, because he obviously didn't show the pace in qualifying, but we all know that Tom is very consistent with his race results. I mean, he went quite consistent throughout the whole season last year. He picked up only one win, but somehow by being consistent he managed to get third place in the championship. So it's all about consistency really at the moment. So being consistent and just getting points here and there will help you towards the championship at the end of the year. So I think whilst we're in a bit of a mid-race lull here where not much is going on, I think I'm going to just notify you guys about the standings and how it's all playing out. So I'm currently leading the standings on 164 points. In second place is my dad on 83 points. Then it is Tim on 79 points. Then it is Tom on 61 points. Then Harry on 51. Will on 32. And then it's James on 23. Then Job on 22. Harry's down on 21. That is incredibly close, that battle there. And Will's dad on 18 as well, so that's quite close, isn't it? Quite a lot of close battles in the championship there, and obviously with Tom L coming into this round as well, he's going to get points on the board, and the lowest he can score actually is 16 points, but it's looking like he's going to finish third place in this first race here, because obviously my dad lost a lap, maybe even 2 laps after coming into the pit, so the lowest he's going to get actually is 18 points in this, so it looks like he's going to at least equal what Will's dad got in his first round this year as well. So that is kind of surprising actually. Nice to see Tromel getting good points in his first round. And 18 points is a very respectable score, especially if you look at what the people normally get. I mean, Tom averages about sort of 15 to 25 each round. So it's hard to say what people get on average, but I think I'm going to do like a statistics video at the end of the season showing like what the average points per race were and everything like that. So yeah, so basically at the end of the season, I did this last year, I didn't actually make a video out of it, but what was I going to say here, but I made sort of a statistics table where I did, like, for example, last year I got 333 points. I actually miscalculated it by 1 point last year, so I had to rechange it. I had to change it on the website, so it's 333, not 334. But basically, I had to divide 333 by 12, and I got my average score. And I'm not sure what it is, so I'm going to quickly check actually on my phone here, because I think it'd be quite interesting to see what the average points per race actually are. And I'm sure a lot of people actually be wondering that, because it is kind of interesting. So 333 divided by 12, which is the amount of rounds that I did, and I get 27.75 as my average points per round. So that's quite impressive, I think, actually, considering what that would be like. 27 points would be a race win and a second place in a race weekend. So I think that's quite impressive, isn't it? Not too bad whatsoever. And if we compare that to Will, who obviously didn't do as many rounds last year, he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He did 5 rounds and got 138 points. 138 divided by 5 equals equals 27.6. So that's 0.1 less than me. So that shows how close it is. But I do think Will is the better driver. Not gonna lie, guys. He can't make it to every round because of uni and everything. So he can't do that to make every round, obviously. But hopefully he'll be back for I think round number 9. I think I've sort of confirmed to him now. Round number 9, I think he's back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that quite a bit, and hopefully he can have a good race for himself. But I obviously want to beat him, because I don't think in many of the races I've actually beat him this year and last year as well. So obviously the aim will be to try and finish ahead of him in these races. Especially, it isn't really obviously in a championship fight, but he can probably, if he gets to do the rest of the season, if he does round 9, 10, 11 and 12, he can probably pick up a top 5 in the championship, depending what other people do. So we'll see. It will be interesting. It'll be quite interesting, won't it, to see what everything happens. But I think next year I need to really focus on trying to make sure that at least 4 or 5 people each and every round are able to make it, because unfortunately we've had the problem of people dropping out of races, and it's meant that sometimes we've only ended up having 2 people, and it's just not really a race, is it? I mean, we were lucky when me and my dad and also me and Tom were just the only 2 people going, that it was actually really close racing, and it was actually quite fun only having the 2 of us there. But it did obviously mean that you score a lot of points and you were the only 2 people there. But the racing's that good, I think it doesn't really matter all that much. I mean, as long as you're having fun and you get your money's worth out of it, it's not too bad, is it? So yeah, up to the start finish line once again for Tom. We're looking, you can see she's having a quick look up at the tower, but it's not the last lap just yet. But yeah, pretty interesting first couple of laps, and then it sort of all got spread out quite a bit, didn't it? It's obviously I pulled away from Tom by, I'd say maybe about 10 seconds now. I'm probably ahead of Tom. Maybe that's a bit too much, maybe 8 seconds ahead of Tom now. So I pulled out a nice gap. He was quite close to me for a couple of laps, and then he made a slight mistake, which, you know, lost him like 2 or 3 seconds. And then once you lose that 2 or 3 seconds, you know, you're about 5 seconds behind. And yeah, I think generally when you don't have someone right in front of you, you lose a bit of lap time, as you're not sort of chasing someone, if you will. Because if you can see someone in your sort of eye line, you know, 2 or 3 seconds ahead of you, you can keep up consistent pace because you're trying to catch them. But you know, if that gap goes over that, then it's really tough to keep up the pace. And I guess that's what's happening with Tom as well. That small mistake did cost him quite a bit there. And my dad as well. Obviously, Tom L. I was just completely forgot there who I was trying to talk about. Tom L. obviously had his spin, which lost him a bit of time, but obviously not as much time as it did my dad, who obviously lost time from spinning. And well, sorry, he didn't spin, did he? He didn't make the mistake either. He had the problem with the kart, didn't he? Which meant he had to go over and get a different kart. So that was really unfortunate for him there. Obviously, he'd have liked to complete the whole race, but yeah, it would have been actually quite close. Actually, my dad was challenging quite a bit, but looks like that's the checker flag now for myself and Tom. My dad's just got a couple of corners to go here to complete the race. But yeah, it was looking quite a close race between me and my dad and Tom L probably as well if he didn't spin. But yeah, that's it, the checker flag's out, and that's the race results. So you guys all know it wasn't the most interesting race in the world, but still I managed to grab my 4th win of the season, which now puts me equal on Tim with most wins. Tom finishes in 2nd place, which is very good. Tom L gets 3rd place, which is great for him. My dad managed to pick up 4th place and the points to go with it after obviously having the problem with the kart. But look at this, Tom L has an incredible start once again. How does he do it? Incredible reactions, along with obviously being lighter does help. But into turn 1, Tom manages to get into 2nd place. I'm back down to 3rd. My dad stays in 4th place here, but the battle is on now. Can Tom get past Tom L to possibly get another win here? Tom has only had one win this season, and maybe this is a good opportunity for him to get a second, but he's right up behind Tom L here. And can he challenge? Well, he's dropped off a bit here down the straight, as we'd expect. Obviously, Tom L so much faster in the straight line. And I'm trying to look to the inside of Tom here. He's leaving a gap, but he's pulling off to the outside. A break a bit later, but it gets very close there. Not quite contact, but I gained quite a bit there on Tom, but I couldn't quite get past him. So yeah, now we're just going to be challenging as best we can to get past Tom and maybe Tom L. Oh, but Tom's made a slight mistake here. He's run a bit wide. We can't quite get the cut back now. And fast right-hander, turn number 1, I call it at least. I don't know, what do you call it? Turn 1 or the last turn? I'm not really sure where you class the start-finish line is here. I normally call this the first turn actually. But we're closing in on Tom, but he's slightly holding us up a little bit here as Tom L's got a bit of an advantage. Just over half a second, I'd say, the gap there between Tom L in the lead and Tom in 2nd place. But Tom, you could say, has been he's holding me up because he's defending. My dad goes for a move down the inside there of me, and he gets that move done, but we try and run side by side here and trying to go around the outside here. It's maybe not the best idea in the world because obviously you're going further, but down the straight I have good speed somehow down the straight. And am I going to be later on the brakes? Yes I am, but my dad dives to the inside and he tries to get the position, but I have the cut back and I get back down the inside there, and yeah, back into 3rd place there. A bit of a brief challenge from my dad. You can see how much time that's cost me actually. I've dropped back quite a bit from Tom and Tom L battling for the lead here, so you can see one little battle there can really change up the race, can't it? So yeah, now we've got to close that gap down a bit again. You can see Tom in front of us here trying to challenge Tom L, but he's not quite close enough in the straight to be able to dive down the inside there. You can see Tom checking behind him, wondering what's happening here, but he can't quite get it turned into the corner. He's completely missed the apex. He's hit the tyres on the outside there, and that is not good for Tom whatsoever. Everyone gets past. Tom's relegated to 4th place here now, and he's gonna, thanks to the marshals there for being so quick onto the scene. The marshals are actually really great at Filtry Manor, and they're nice people as well, and they really are quick to help you out if you make a slight mistake like that as well. So yeah, Tom, obviously slight mistake there. That's going to put him nearly a lap down as well after that. So that's cost him probably a good 25 seconds, maybe 20 seconds I'd say. But yeah, under the yellow flags obviously now Tom L's backing off, and so am I as well. My dad's closed in actually a bit under the yellow flags. They're a bit cheeky to grab that extra bit of time under the yellow flags, but I suppose it's hard to exactly monitor how much time you gain and lose through yellow flags now. So once again, I'm challenging Tom L for this position, as this would be great for me because that means I could go ahead on the most wins leaderboard at the moment. I mean, I'm equal with Tim after the last round then, but the thing is, Tim, he managed to get 4 wins out of 6 races. He did a really good job, and I've only managed to get 4 wins out of 13 races. So yeah, you can see my win to race ratio isn't quite as good as Tim's, is it? But yeah, maybe if Tim had done a lot more races, he might have been able to. I don't know. Maybe he might have been able to get more, or maybe I'd have been able to pick up my form a bit. My form at the start of the season was really bad. First 3 rounds. First 3 rounds was it? No, first 4 rounds I'd say weren't that good. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I think those weren't as good as they were last year. I mean, I scored 1 less point this year of the first 4 races, but I just think my speed wasn't quite there, and also Tim was in great form for those. He did round number 1 and round number 4. He did just so well in those rounds, and it's just like it's really hard to keep up the. I don't know the right word's motivation, but when you have 4 races against Tim and you lose all of them to him. I mean, I got pole position in one of those rounds, but he managed to grab both wins in those races. I was like, come on. I was really hoping that I could just beat him to one of those race wins, but it wasn't meant to be, obviously. But Tim, since unfortunately for him, has actually had to be, he's had to work weekends, which means that you can get to the rounds. And I can see my dad once again, he's trying to get past. But yeah, it would have been really actually good for Tim to be able to compete with all these rounds this season. It would have been really good in the championship, and yeah, so obviously we've been sort of taken away a bit of that battle from Tim not being able to take part in a lot of the rounds this season. I think he's done 3 of the 6 so far this year, so a bit disappointing. But I've got to say, guys, he wasn't too happy with his form in race number 5, round number 5 I should say. He didn't exactly have the speed which he had in the rounds before, but I'm hoping at least a couple of times before the end of the year that Tim will be able to get on the, what's the right word here? Get on the podium and get back to go-karting. That's what I'm sort of hoping, at least a couple of times before the end of the year, because that would obviously be nice. But yeah, we've got another challenge here, because you can see my dad's closing on quite a bit on me. I'm closing in a little bit on Tom L, and out into the last corner here. I'm trying to carry a bit more speed, but I have to carry so much more momentum through that last corner to get anywhere close to Tom L, but he's just so fast in a straight line. I just sort of have to hope that he makes a slight mistake in one of the corners, run a bit wide or something, for me to close in on a bit there. But I actually run wide myself there and slightly clip that tyre on the inside. That's obviously not what you want to be doing, and Tom L gets a bit of a gap here, but I'm very fast through that corner there. Am I going to be able to break down the inside there? No, I'm not. All this contact! My dad carries a lot more speed through that corner than me. Also, I think part of the fact that I braked, because Tom L was a little bit slower than I expected through there, so I braked, and then my dad, maybe not expecting that whatsoever, just goes a bit too fast in the corner, actually crashed into the back of me there. And he thought, I talked to him at the end of the race about it, and he said I didn't expect you to brake there. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I sort of had to jam on the brakes a little bit because Tom L was quite slow through that part of the track. I mean, look, you can see here, generally is a bit slower than us through there, but I think he must have got his line a little bit wrong and then maybe had to brake himself. And my neck did hurt a little bit after that, but luckily it was all right after the race and everything. But obviously a little bit of whiplash, obviously, when you get hit from behind. by a kart travelling at like, I don't know, 15 miles an hour. Don't know what you're actually travelling at that, that part of the track there, but he's still carrying quite a bit of speed through there. So yeah, but luckily no injuries or anything. But it's just part of go-karting, isn't it? From time to time, accidents like that will happen where you just misjudge what's happening at the corner. My dad that time, it wasn't my fault. Nothing I could really do about that, but obviously my dad lost a bit of time there. He also put his hand up to say sorry to the marshals. Obviously sometimes you get a no bumping sign if you hit into someone like that, but he said sorry, and yeah, he didn't get that sign, which I actually got in the first race of this, because apparently I crashed into my dad, but I don't see it myself, but obviously I would say it like that. But we're closing in on the last 3 minutes of this race now. I think we're probably into the last 3 minutes, in all honesty, guys. Probably the last 4 laps, I'd say. And can we get it done? Can we challenge Tom L for this win? Because he's drove incredibly well. This is his second race ever around this track. It's it's looking quite worrying, isn't it, for me? If he's got this much speed on his first time go-karting here, how am I going to be able to deal with him when he's got more experience? How am I going to be able to overtake him when he knows how to do all the corners like really well? So yeah, that's going to be tricky, but he's driving really well at the moment. Maybe he had a good kart, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Maybe at the back kart, I don't know, but to be honest, he's got really good skills here, Tom L, and I think he's going to do well when he comes to go-karting next. I don't think he's going to be able to make round number 8, but I think he told me he can make it to round number 9, so yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? There's quite a lot of people that are going to be able to make it to round number 9. That should be a really good race. A couple of races in qualifying as well. Hopefully it's going to be close as well, so we don't have just Will going off into the distance. Hopefully it is close. And yeah, so I think now last 2 laps, could be wrong, but I've really got to put the pressure on now. But it's not looking likely. It's just hard to find a place to overtake, because I'm faster than Tom L in certain parts of the track, but they're not really places you can overtake, like this corner here. How can you overtake around here on the outside? It's just like near impossible, unless I have enough speed to go around the outside, but it's just like nearly impossible to do that. And I think this could be the last lap of the race here now, so you can see it gets a bit sideways, Tom L there, if we're looking at my screen, but I'm not close enough to benefit from it, because I get such not as good a run off that final corner, and I just can't get it done. And I'm looking over, is like, is this it? Is this my last chance to overtake him? And I'm trying to take so much more speed through this corner here, can't get it done. He did that one quite well this time. Final corner, I call it the final corner at least. So looking up at the checker flag here, is it the checker flag? Yes it is. Tom L wins on his second ever race around Filtry Manor. What an incredible race. I suppose a good story as well for the championship, showing how competitive it can be if everything goes your way, and you drive well as well. So my dad finishes Tom L wins, I'm in second place. My dad finishes in third place there, and you can see up to the start finish line. Tom off obviously having that mistake where he ran into the tyres early on. He'll pick up 4th place. I mean, you'll be a bit disappointed about that, but he got that second place in that first race, so he'll still outscore my dad, where he's who he's battling with in the championship. So that's the race 2 results. Tom L wins, I'm in second place, then it's my dad, and then Tom finishes in P4 after that. And let's have a look at the championship standings. You can see I lead on 196 points now. It's actually the first time this season I've had more points at a certain point of the season than I did last year. Last year I had 191 points at this point of the season. Anyway, my dad's on 101, Tom's on 81, Tim slipped back to 4th place after missing this round as well, obviously on 79, Harry on 51, Will on 32, Tom L up to 7th place after only 1 round on 25 points. Then it's James on 23, Job on 22, Harry's dad on 21, and then Will's dad at the rear at the moment on 18 points. So that's it for this episode, guys. Once again, thanks for watching it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you all next time, about 3 weeks time, for more Go-Kart Championship action. It's been Alex out here. Goodbye.